Today we dive into a big topic, the interest rate myths that many people believe. Most of us think high interest rates are supposed to make the economy slow down by making money more expensive. But is this true? It's time to challenge this idea. What if I told you that high interest rates aren't so bad for everyone?
Let's look at boomers, the generation that's seeing some surprising benefits. High interest rates are not just costs for them, they're almost like an extra paycheck. We often hear that older generations have a lot of wealth, but these rates boost their incomes even more. This isn't just about market rules. It's a major shift in who holds the financial power now.
Let's dive into the details of the Federal Reserve's distributional financial accounts. This dataset presents how wealth divides among different age groups in the U.S. economy. Baby boomers, born between 1946 and 1964, hold a staggering 51.8% of the nation's wealth, which is more than half of all U.S. household wealth. This isn't just a minor shift. It's an enormous ownership of economic resources that sets one generation apart from the others.
Absolutely, and it's fascinating how this concentration of wealth among boomers occurs. They benefited from decades of increasing asset prices. When you compare it to millennials and Gen Z, these younger generations possess only a small fraction in comparison. Despite being the largest adult generation in numbers, millennials own less than a fifth of what boomers do. The difference is stark, and it paints a clear picture of the generational wealth gap that has widened drastically over time.
Over the years, boomers have managed to benefit from trends in longevity and asset accumulation. They've lived through periods of exponential asset value growth. For example, a home purchased decades ago may have multiplied many times in value, contributing massively to their wealth today. This is about right timing and being in the right market spots when they heat it up. It's more about luck and timing than strategic planning for many boomers enjoying the fruits now.
Yes, this fortuitous timing paired with asset inflation means boomers are now in control of substantial economic power. Meanwhile, younger generations, entering the workforce with high debts and few assets, are struggling to catch up. What took boomers decades to achieve seems even harder for millennials and Gen Z, who face inflated housing markets, student debt burdens, and lesser opportunities for asset growth. This all highlights the widening financial chasm between generations today.
So, what is exactly this interest income channel? It's a system where interest rate hikes result in certain groups gaining extra income simply because they have their money parked in the right financial vehicles. Wealthy households, especially boomers, earn handsomely from these increases. This means high interest rates can be a blessing rather than a punishment. It's not just about slowing down the economy. It's about reshaping who holds the financial power.
The mechanics behind it are simple but have complex impacts. When the Federal Reserve increases interest rates, anyone with large savings in certain accounts earns more. For instance, they gain from treasury bills and money market funds. While young borrowers get hit with higher loan costs, older generations are, in fact, receiving more money. This shift in where the money goes changes spending habits drastically, affecting the overall economy.
With this interest income channel, we see a noticeable shift in spending power. Older generations who benefit from high rates often continue or even increase their spending, despite the supposed goal of curbing inflation. When your income effectively rises without working for it, you're more likely to spend more. This means the usual cycle of slowing down the economy doesn't quite apply to these asset-rich groups.
Right, and this maintained spending by boomers can lead to more price stability in some areas. They're not just saving this newfound income. They're spending it in sectors like travel and luxury services. This pattern adds a layer of complexity to traditional economic models and policies, showing that interest rate hikes don't evenly distribute effects across age groups. It's a fresh perspective on how we view monetary policy and its real-world impacts.
Let's dive into how boomers' spending habits are keeping service inflation high. The increased interest income they receive acts like extra money, which they spend on experiences and luxury goods. This constant spending helps keep service prices elevated. Even with high interest rates, hotels, restaurants, and personal services are not seeing a drop in demand. Instead, these sectors are thriving because boomers continue to spend large amounts.
Indeed, industries like cruises and luxury travel are booming thanks to this demographic. Companies such as Royal Caribbean and Carnival are experiencing record profits, driven by older consumers spending more on luxurious experiences. Boomers make up the majority of luxury travel spenders, and their willingness to pay higher prices boosts these markets significantly. This generational spending helps us understand why inflation isn't cooling in these service sectors.
Take Royal Caribbean as an example. They've seen huge success in recent years with their Oasis-class ships always fully booked. This isn't just a coincidence. It's driven by boomers who have increased disposable income from interest earnings. Carnival reports similar gains, attributing their remarkable performance to this segment of travelers who can and are willing to spend significantly more.
The generational difference in luxury spending is stark. While younger generations struggle with high borrowing costs and prioritize essential purchases, boomers channel their interest gains into non-essential luxury goods. This spending pattern keeps the luxury segment buoyant and shows how interest income translates into economic power, allowing this age group to maintain or increase their consumption despite wider economic challenges.
As we move forward, let's explore how asset price inflation has steadily contributed to the growth of wealth among boomers. They witnessed property values skyrocket over the years, along with stock markets booming, which increased their net worth significantly. These price hikes were beyond mere financial planning. They represented an entire generation reaping benefits from a once-in-a-lifetime economic environment that so massively inflated asset values.
However, this asset price surge has created a tough situation for many younger people trying to enter the housing market. With property values climbing so high, buying a home has become increasingly difficult. High house prices demand more significant down payments, making it hard for people who did not accumulate wealth early on. This affordability crisis is especially challenging for younger families looking to purchase their first homes in such a competitive market.
There's some telling data on this in terms of real estate purchases. Currently, a significant percentage of real estate transactions are completed with cash. All cash buyers dominate because they don't rely on loans, which puts them at an advantage in competitive areas. This trend warps the dynamics of the housing market, preventing those dependent on mortgages from securing homes.
These all-cash transactions mean there are many areas where traditional buying methods are not viable for younger generations. The house-buying playing field becomes uneven, favoring those who have plenty of savings ready to use without needing to secure a mortgage. This situation places immense financial stress on young buyers still burdened with student loans and other debts.
As we delve into the side effects of rising interest rates, we find there are unexpected winners benefiting immensely. High interest rates have turned into a wealth generator for many retiring boomers, who hold significant cash and fixed income securities. Their financial situation improves as these assets now yield returns not seen for years, boosting their cash flow without extra effort.
On the flip side, young borrowers are facing harder times with the same change. Rising interest rates make borrowing more costly as they deal with high mortgage payments and expensive loans. This creates deep financial stress, eating into their disposable income. They are essentially paying for the windfall others are enjoying, which further sharpens the division between the generations.
This financial shift has created a wedge within many families. Younger people see their expenses rise, while their older family members' incomes are unexpectedly growing. As rent and loan costs weigh on the younger generation's finances, these extra interest earnings are padding the savings of their parents and grandparents.
This situation is brewing intergenerational tensions. Younger people feel the squeeze, causing frustration, especially when the financial benefits seem to concentrate among their older relatives. This disparity fuels discussions focused on fairness and the growing economic divide. Families must navigate this balance carefully to avoid deepening these tensions.
We've explored how high interest rates have surprising effects, especially on different generations. Now, let's dig into the effectiveness of current monetary policy. The Federal Reserve's strategy is supposed to cool the economy, but it seems to have strengthened a specific age group instead. Is the Fed's approach truly achieving its goal, or are they unintentionally empowering those who are already wealthy?
That's a critical question. The unintended consequences cannot be ignored. By raising interest rates, the Fed has increased wealth for those who own assets like bonds and T-bills. This has widened the gap between generations. While older Americans see increased returns, younger generations struggle with higher borrowing costs. These actions give rise to financial imbalances that might not have been anticipated by policymakers.
Given these challenges, It's possible that the current monetary approach needs readjustment. Policymakers might need to consider the broad impacts beyond traditional metrics. Perhaps we could explore targeted policies that directly address the economic divides. Such proactive measures might help balance the economic scales and support younger generations in wealth accumulation.
Indeed, predicting future economic trends is complex, but crucial for making informed decisions. As we move forward, it's vital to pay attention to how these monetary policies reshape generational dynamics. Without thoughtful adjustments, the existing gaps could widen further, making it essential to anticipate and counteract these shifts for a healthier economic environment.
We appreciate you joining us in this conversation. Your thoughts are valuable, so please like and leave a comment on what you think about these topics. Your engagement helps us continue to bring you insightful episodes. Subscribe for more discussions that matter. Thank you for being with us today.